You are now tuned in to the Lineman Lounge, the world's thickest sports podcast, with your hosts, Mike and Evo.
Come on, bitches. This is the Lineman Lounge. I am Mike. That is Evo. It is Tuesday night. We are here to recap week 2 of the NFL. We saw quite a few surprises, I'd say, this week. Things that definitely should not have happened. Teams got right that we thought would get right. Got worse. But before we start diving into the entire world of the NFL, let me bring in my guy, Evo. Brother, how you doing Tuesday nights? I kind of like this split schedule. It's starting to work very nicely.
Yeah, I'm doing good, brother. Tired, still recovering from my little back injury over the weekend, but doing good. And looking forward to recapping week 2 here. It was another interesting week. I think every week is going to be generally interesting. Especially, we're getting surprised by things if our against the spread records are showing anything there, but it's really tough to kind of nail down what teams are until around week 4. You're seeing the weekly power rankings and stuff come out, and I hate those until you get to around week 4 because things are just a shit show in the beginning. So
yeah, we don't know what these teams are yet because we got a lot of teams that we thought might be good slide down to 0-2. Teams that we thought would be shit, sitting at 2-0, and teams that should win games are not winning games, man. Like it's a wild NFL right now. A lot of parity, not a lot of offense. We're going to talk about that quite a bit today, probably. But before we start diving into that, man, U Sports, G still playing football, starting at right guard. Man, his team's pretty good. Interesting decisions made by the coaching staff in the last game, I believe, is what cost them. So they fall to 2-2 on the year. But he's playing so fucking good. I owe this kid money. I got to deal with him. Every pancake is $5. Tackles for loss are $5, and sacks are $10. I haven't had to pay him on defense yet, but I have had to pay him quite a bit on offense. So very proud of him for going out there and finishing dudes.
Be careful saying finishing dudes when we're talking about U Sports. But also speaking about U Sports, we would be remiss if we don't bring up our boy Malachi Cooper.
Absolutely.
Out in Alabama. Check out our social feeds on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. That boy's being highlighted. He's doing great things out there. If you are watching on YouTube, please just jump on X real quick. Check out those socials. Like his X page or Twitter page, whatever you want to call it. Give him some support. He got the IHOP Pancake Player of the Week or something like that, first player on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Doing great things out there. So we definitely want to highlight him. He's a guy that we've been following. Um, you know, son of another No Sleeves Network member,
Yeah.
Matt Cooper. So we definitely want to promote him and the things that he's doing. Like you're gonna probably hear his name in college football here in several years. Like that would be our guess, and we're gonna be super stoked to follow his journey. So still doing great things out there.
I mean, he's the sophomore at a 7A school in Alabama. Started at that 7A school as a freshman. That 7A school is actually very good. I'm not going to give out too many names. Go check out the socials and whatever they got that they put out. I won't say any names, but the boy's got talent to start as a freshman, to be recognized starting as a sophomore for Pancakes of the Week. The young man's got some talent. He should definitely be getting looked at. I actually talked to his dad today about places that they can go to start looking at rivals camps and things like that, because he needs to get a rating here sooner, coming up on his junior year. But super proud of Malachi and his hard work. But with that, man, are we ready to start diving into professional football? I can talk about youth sports all day. I love it, but I feel like we have so much NFL stuff that I want to get to. I have a ton of notes from games because I went back. Dude, I love NFL Plus. Watching the condensed games helps a lot. A fucking lot. Try to get through.
It helps you get through all the games if you have those condensed games. I do not have that. I have YouTube, so I can watch key plays, but that doesn't really tell the story. It can kind of give you an idea of where things are starting to change and things are happening, or specific drives. So then I can go back through the actual game and watch that. But even still, it's it's a lot more clunky than NFL Plus stuff and getting the all 22 and things like that.
Hey, if you need the login, let me know, brother. We can start doing some film breakdowns because I enjoyed the first one. I did not do a film breakdown this week. I haven't gotten to it yet. I have been busy as shit trying to catch up on all these games. But we ready to start diving into these games, start hitting a recap, and go over some of these bets that did not quite hit.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead, pull up our record, show the people what we got, because look, we've done only against the spread bets this year. I fucking hate it because it is absolutely tanking the record that I had from the previous year. It is tough to tell what's going on.
Over 65% last year when we were including money lines.
Yeah, and that's I was just going for pure best bets, but if you're going strictly money line, it is a lot more difficult because in some of these games we'll see teams win, but they're not covering that score. You can feel real good about a winning team there, and you're not getting that cover, which really sucks.
Yeah, sucks really bad. There were a couple games. Yeah. All right. So
terrible afternoon.
I went. Yeah, your afternoon was tough, bro. That's how my first week went as well. I went 7-9. You went 6-10. So right now you are consistent, but we need to improve those numbers. Those are rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers up.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we can go back and we can go to this Thursday night game. We didn't talk too much on it, but obviously the big story from that Bills-Dolphins Thursday night game, where the Bills kind of trounced the Dolphins 31-10. Tua Tagovailoa out. He's currently on IR as of today. No plans from him on retiring at this time, as being reported from beat writers who are in contact with him. He's speaking with independent neurologists and stuff like that. Look, on the socials and whatnot, I will be the first to say I've put a lot of funny content out there. Again, we're veterans, dark humor, love that stuff. We'll be offensive. It's okay to be offended. But it's not to look over the seriousness of the situation. Like, Mike, how many elbows do you have?
I got 2.
How many knees?
2.
How many brains?
Half sometimes, maybe.
Right.
1. I believe 1, but
you got one brain, maybe not fully functioning, and I'm right there alongside you. You're hearing this parroted from a lot of former players, coaches. Antonio Pierce coming out saying, look, step away, man. There's no need to risk it. Like, he's already made his bag. There's, insurance policies on, the contract and whatnot.
Had to be.
If you're a Dolphins fan and you want him to continue playing, it's not the best look. Like, you're talking about a human life here at the end of the day. There's so much more to life outside of football. When I had my knee injury in high school and kind of just saw that football sphere of life go away, I definitely went into a depression. It was tough because it was my whole life. And that can't even like compare to being an NFL player,
Right.
like how pivotal it is for your life. But that's the thing, is you do have a life. A lot of these guys go and play the NFL to make a bag and earn, so that the way their family and future generations can live
Generational
well.
wealth.
And I get it. He's already at the generational wealth
Oh, yeah.
spectrum, and I fully think that he is talented enough where he can go and be a broadcaster or something like that, or spread awareness on behalf of the NFL or NFLPA as far as like head trauma and injuries and stuff like that. Like, he could be a pioneer for this, to really push forward the safety and health agenda for the NFL. Um, and he's not going to be able to do that if he's dead. And like, CTE is a real thing. These brain traumas are a real thing. You've got one brain. I would love to see him go out and play good football again.
Yep.
But is it the right move? Probably not. And I get the knee-jerk reaction from him of wanting to play. Like, I wanted to play on that bad leg. I was on one good leg, running way before I should have, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll find a way to do this because I want to play this game. And I get it. But you've got your friends, your family, everyone around you telling you not to do this. I think it would be the most incredible thing for every player on that Miami Dolphins team to have a Rudy moment and go up to him and be like, you've done your part. You need to step away. We love you. You need to step away. Because at this point, like, who knows what's going to happen on the next hit?
Yeah. So I have a similar thought process to you, but a couple of different main points for me. I believe that Tua should be done because we have seen the hits have piled up. There's no doubt that he has had multiple instances of a traumatic brain injury. I have friends who have traumatic brain injuries, and I understand how it can affect you. When you start getting multiple of those, it changes who you are fundamentally. So I think that Tua should hang it up. But I'm not Tua. I don't know Tua. But people who do know Tua are also asking him to hang it up. I saw the clip of Manti Te'o talking, good friends with Tua, and he wants him to stop. What I hope for Tua is that nobody lies to him. I hope that they tell him the God's honest truth, whether he likes it or not, and then Tua is capable of making the decision that is in his best interest. I believe that best interest is for him to retire. Tua may not see it that way. I hate when people have the thing that they work for, that dream, ripped away from them, and they don't have that choice anymore. It sucks. And I don't know Tua at all. But to have it ripped away like that is an awful thing. I want him to walk off the field and not come back. And honestly, it's kind of selfish. And I think a lot of us are being selfish in that assessment, that we don't want Tua to come back because we don't want to deal with what can happen if he does. Nobody wants to watch Tua die on the field. Nobody wanted to see what happened to Damar Hamlin on the field. We want to see all of this aggression and violence, and we want these guys to play football, but we do not want to see the repercussions of what that does. And that's just the God's honest truth. So I hope Tua gets to make that decision, but they can't lie to Tua about what's going on. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying Guardian caps should have been wearing Guardian caps. A Guardian cap does absolutely nothing to prevent what happened to Tua that night. Guardian caps are used to reduce the absorption of blows, right? So you get a little bit of cushion. But when your body very quickly and suddenly stops, a Guardian cap is not inside your skull. Your brain will still slam against your skull, causing a concussion. The Guardian cap will not fix that. You can't regulate human biology. It's just not possible. So in all of this, I hope Tua gets to choose. Don't lie to him. And we need to start realizing like this is dangerous. It's a dangerous fucking sport. It absolutely is. The fact that I let my son play, I love that he plays football, but do I have moments where maybe it's nerve wracking? If I see him take a shot, yeah, a little bit, because I know what damage it can do. But everybody who loves this sport, my wish for them is that they get to choose when they're done, and it's not taken from them. That mental capacity is not taken from them.
Yeah, no, that's well put. I mean, that's. I guess another question is going to be coming into play is at what point can we really truly factor in that he's got those mental faculties to be able to make that decision?
Yeah, so I believe that the NFL still does these baseline tests. They should at the beginning of every year. I know that we, as service members, we did them when we would go down range. So that way, if anything happened, we'd come back, we take a test, and we find out where we are to baseline. Do we have any sort of brain injury? I cannot believe that the NFL does not have something like that in place, because head trauma is something that happens in the NFL all the time. So that would be the only way that I could imagine that they would go about this, have some sort of cognitive test at the beginning of every year, and you check again at the end of every year to make sure that functions are not being lost.
That's true. At what point as well does it become the responsibility of the team, of the coach, things like that, to make that decision as well? Because
So
as much as the player
the team doctor can. I don't believe the team can directly say you have to be done because he's on a contract. Unless there's something specifically written into that contract, the team can't really do anything about that. Otherwise, they become in breach of that contract. However, the team doctor cannot medically clear him to be playing football, and then that takes you down a whole nother avenue.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's other avenues about it. Now, obviously, the Players Association would get involved with this, but like they put him on the IR. It wasn't his choice. They put him on the IR, minimum of 4 weeks. They could say, "Hey, you retire, or we're going to IR you out and cut you off this contract." Will another team probably try to bring him on? Yeah, but like if I'm Mike McDaniels and I truly love this kid, like a son, like a family member, can you be in the right mindset to put him on the field and put him in that danger, regardless of if he wants it or not? And so that's where I'm kind of coming into play. Is like as the team, as the coach, at what point do you have to step in and say, I am not willing to do this? Like he could be on the roster and be like, look, if you don't want to retire, you are a backup quarterback now. You won't see the field. Yeah. Like the team can.
The ownership is not going to like that. I can guarantee you that. If they're paying him that much money, they're going to expect him to play, or they're going to expect a restructure. Which why would Tua do that? Because he has all the money like in tow already. Like it's going to be. It's either they're going to let him play, or he's going to retire. There's not going to be a you can kind of come back thing. But I think the majority of people are leaning towards Tua needs to be done. Like these guys are warriors. We appreciate all the things that they do. But also, I don't need you to kill yourself for my entertainment. It's not that fucking important to me.
Yeah. The whole to be frank, bullshit that is kind of coming down of like Antonio Pierce made comments about how he believes that that he should, retire at this point, and then people are saying that it's tampering because he is telling him to retire. No, that is a former NFL player who was talking to one of his brothers, another NFL player, and telling him, I don't want to see you get hurt. It's not tampering. Like it's just like any of these other retired NFL players who are coming out and being like, dude, you need to fucking believe us from the other side. There is life after football. You need to worry about your family and your health. So we'll see what goes on with that. Obviously, I think we're a ways away, being that he's on the IR. It gives
at least 4 weeks.
Yeah, it gives the team and Tua time to think, to see specialists, to talk with people, and hopefully be in a better mindset. It's not like, oh, you have an extended week, a 10-day week to try to figure out what's going on. So we'll see.
But so and I don't understand. I'm not sure how it works with if he decides to just retire, what he would forfeit. So this could drag out for a little while. I would imagine that if he doesn't play anymore, there will be some sort of mutual understanding that come to where Tua will receive a portion of his money, even though he won't have played. Very similar to what happened up in Indy when Andrew Luck retired. He still got a portion of that salary, that guaranteed money. I would imagine something very similar happens with Tua if that does become the case, where he does not come back.
Yeah. All right. We can throw this comment up real quick. I'm sure that you were reading it here.
I was.
Huge fan of the show. Sold Flowers and Worthy for Bowers. Bold, but I just feel like he's a better version of 2023 Laporta opinions. And then he also has Kyle Pitts. Well, I can tell you this: Kyle Pitts hasn't done a whole lot to inspire confidence. Of course, last night, and we'll get to that game. You see the late game drive, but beyond that, the offense still kind of looked relatively anemic there for the Falcons. A lot of run heavy, which is part of that McVay scheme, or at least can be. Bowers is a good player. I don't know if he's a better version of 2023 Laporta, because Laporta was historically good for a rookie tight end.
As a tight end, yeah.
Bowers has obviously looked good, and I think that is a product of that offense. And
target share, huge target share for Bowers, because the only guy he's competing with is Devontae.
So getting Bowers and having him obviously become your number one over Pitts, that's a boon.
Slam dunk.
Flowers and Worthy, they're each going to have their weeks and things like that here or there. But if you have good wide receivers on your team, I think that's a pretty solid trade. Okay. If you need that tight end and you already have guys like if Flowers and Worthy are maybe flex plays for you, and you have someone else that you can throw in that flex spot, depending on your league style, not a bad trade there. I kind of like it.
I also like the idea, and hear me out. Now that you have a guy that I believe is going to be pretty solid at the tight end spot, try to flip Kyle Pitts. People buy high on Kyle. Like, people buy Kyle Pitts for some reason. I don't know why. The potential is sky high. So they're like, oh, Kyle Pitts is going to be great. Sell Kyle Pitts. Go. And if you need to, go replenish it receiver.
Yeah. That's like, if someone has a Kirk Cousins in your league, people like to pair quarterbacks with receiving options. You might be able to get a little bit of something if someone has Kirk Cousins and are going to be playing him. But not a bad trade. I'm a fan of that, especially as a guy who doesn't really have a good tight end presence on my fantasy football team this year.
My guy's hurt.
I mean, I've got Hawkinson, but I knew that going into the draft. So
I got Njoku, and he got hip drop tackled, and it wasn't called.
Yep. Another theme in the NFL, which the whole hip drop tackle thing, we had our thoughts about it, but it is a rule now, and they need to call it. And we need to quit having slow-mo replays of this happening with guys getting hurt and nothing happening about it. And Vanilla Gorilla Eats, what's up, buddy? Vanilla Gorilla Eats, No Sleeves Network member, just put out more content today. You need to get on the YouTube and go check out Vanilla Gorilla Eats and his food reviews. They're fucking awesome.
They are pretty badass. I had a great time when he was here, man. The whole Cleveland food scene is pretty damn badass. If you want to check out anything that Vanilla Gorilla does, go to the No Sleeves Network YouTube. There's links there, or you could just toss your phone right on that QR code, and it'll take you to the NoSleevesNetwork.com, where all of our content is contained, including Vanilla Gorilla Eats. But with that, brother, let's roll into the next game.
Yep. Enough shilling for right now. We'll do that again later.
Yes, we will.
Running down the line of games here based off of ESPN. We have the Saints and Cowboys, one of the upsets of the week. Saints win 44-19 in Dallas. Not something that I don't think very many people, if anyone, have predicted. I didn't have Kamara having as many touchdowns on my bingo board. So it was kind of a wild game. I'm interested to see your thoughts, because I did go back, and this is one of the games I went back and watched the whole thing. And kind of want to get your thoughts. The question is, are the Saints real?
Honestly, bro, they fucking might be. This Clint Kubiak offense is humming. Derek Carr looks like he's comfortable as fuck. Like, they have scored, was it 15 straight drives they fucking scored?
Something like that.
Insane number.
Yeah.
Clint Kubiak's got this offense humming. They found a way to get Kamara in there, and Shaheed, who's been sitting on my bench for 2 weeks now, might start getting played. I might have to start trying to find a way to move wide receivers around, because he is a legit threat. this Saints team could be a threat in the South for sure. Do I think they can go super far? Maybe not. But they have offensive pieces. They have guys that are dynamic that can do different things. And if this offense can find a way to punch holes in a tough Dallas defense, I mean, we could be talking about a team that actually wins a playoff game for a team that we thought wouldn't even fucking sniff the playoffs.
Yeah, I am still struggling with this, and it's another one of those reasons why I say I don't like to really judge teams too much until week 4, after week 4 is complete, because if we look at this just in a very small envelope, if we don't count week 1 because they were playing the Carolina Panthers,
right,
and that's very tough to gauge what a true team is going up against that Panthers team. The Saints got one over on the Cowboys here, but the Cowboys, when I was watching, this seemed to like almost more of a product of the Cowboys not being ready to play.
Yeah, they played
like. I don't want to denigrate the Saints and what they did, because Kamara, he didn't contact Doc Brown and travel back in time and become who he used to be. He had a lot of very good plays, opportunistic plays, blown coverages, things like that allowed him to have such a good day. And that's what good players do. They take advantage of that, right? But it's not like he was the same dynamic Kamara that he was in the past. Derek Carr ran a decent, game, but he didn't do anything that really blew the wheels off to me. I've seen Clint Kubiak. He was OC for the Vikings. It was terrible. I'm not thinking that his scheme is necessarily anything fantastic. The biggest stuff that I got for me was just negatives on the Cowboys. Like, I feel like they were still riding high off of that win versus your Cleveland Browns, where you guys have a extremely stout defense, and they were able to take advantage of basically all facets of that game. And then they're like, oh, we're playing the Saints. The Saints aren't who they are. Like, from week 1, they played the Panthers. So they looked so unprepared. And I had just gotten done saying on our Sunday morning show that we didn't have to worry about them being unprepared because Mike Zimmer was there on the defense. And then they come out and they just looked
flat,
unprepared, flat. Yeah. They looked like, I mean, there's always a chance to have game-breaking plays happen from mistakes here or there. But it looked like it was just happening with such a high clip rate that I can't completely say like, oh, the Saints worked them over. It seems like they just came out flat and gave the Saints opportunities that the Saints were like, okay, yeah, we're going to take it.
But that multiple times now, back-to-back weeks, they have schemed Shaheed into massive plays. So they are doing something right to find a way to get that kid the ball.
Well, that's maybe people are sleeping on Shaheed as well, including those defenses, because it's not like this is Shaheed's first year in the league.
No.
Guys normally don't just come out of nowhere and all of a sudden become, fantastic receiving options like this. It can happen, but like he's putting up kind of preposterous numbers out of nowhere, and they're big game-breaking style plays. But look, to me, look, that Cowboys defense just looked sloppy. They looked passive, like they weren't fucking trying. They like almost like they didn't realize that they were losing. Like a good team can be like, oh, we just gave up a touchdown. Yeah, we gotta work into the game. Second touchdown, we gotta work into the game. And now it's like, oh, we just got our bell rung a little bit. Now I'm gonna wake up and I'm actually gonna be like, yeah, we shouldn't be allowing this team to do this to us. It didn't look like they figured that out until like the third quarter. Like, and look, it wasn't like a blowout until maybe the third quarter, but still, like they just looked so passive and so sloppy, and like they just didn't have any sort of a drive in that game is what I kept on feeling from that defense in specifically. They were soft in their coverage, not aggressive. Then the offense was making mistakes, and
they can't run the fucking ball, man. They can't fucking run the ball at all. They ran it, was it 21 times, 3.2 yard average as a team. How the fuck are you going to operate an offense when you can only run it for 3.2 yards on average? You can't. I know, because the Browns got the dicks kicked in week 1, basically doing the same fucking thing. So
if you have a passing game,
win like that.
If you have a passing game, you can do that, and it's got to, your offense has to be heavily predicated on the pass. But when you have CeeDee Lamb, and then like a little bit from Jalen Tolbert, obviously no Ferguson in this game, maybe that made a difference in the passing game. But like, and then you're making mistakes on offense when Dak's making mistakes and throwing picks and stuff like that. Like, that's how things unravel really, really quick. It looked like, and it seems simple, but it looks like the Cowboys' offensive line that looked pretty damn good against you guys all of a sudden didn't know what to do when there was a twist. Whenever that Saints
was
defensive line
wild.
ran a twist, they were just getting right through, and the Cowboys' offensive line were not trading off at all. It was I was like, this seems like high school level, like understanding of how to block a twist, and they're not doing that. And so that Saints defense was just able to get home with relative ease, it seemed like. So this seemed like it is tough for me. I don't want to denigrate the Saints at this point because, like, I obviously they're doing something right. Okay, they've put up 2 pretty phenomenal fucking games, but it seemed like the Cowboys went into this game being like, it's a home game for us. We just schwacked this other team. We're gonna schwack this team because they're fake from their week 1 game. That's what it felt more like to me, and that the Saints just took every opportunity that was given to them and continue to put points on the board. So,
But that's something that we haven't seen this Saints offense do. Derek Carr would constantly miss those opportunities. Now he's fucking hitting them. I don't know why. I doubt that Derek Carr is having some sort of resurgence. No, I mean, because at one point in his career, he was like right there in the MVP talks. And then the broken leg, and then it was a fucking shit show ever since. But he looks very comfortable in this offense. And that is surprising considering that Derek Carr has not looked comfortable in offense in quite some fucking time. But
yeah.
The Saints, fuck us both. We took Cowboys -6.5. That had no shot.
I mean, but really, who didn't at that point, you know?
Yeah.
And now we've got the Saints going up this week versus the Eagles. And we'll get into this Eagles game here in a little bit. But, like, it's another defense that's got good pieces on it. But are they going to be able to step up and actually respect what the Saints have done and try to
make it stop?
Push back? Yeah, like, it's another one of those things. It's like, we got to wait till like week 4 maybe to really find out what this team is. Again, I'm not trying to denigrate the Saints at all. Like, congrats to them for having 2 really outstanding wins, and probably one of the biggest surprises so far in the NFL this year is how they're So, but we'll see. I'm not sold yet, unfortunately. Next up, Buccaneers and Lions, a game that we expected to be pretty good, ended up being pretty close. An interesting one. Buccaneers ended up getting the dub 20-16. How did you feel about the Baker Mayfield performance in this one?
Baker played okay. I mean, listen, Baker, we know what Baker is at this point. Baker is not going to be a world beater, but Baker didn't have to be a world beater. The Bucs defense played really fucking good, able to force a couple of turnovers. Baker was efficient. Like, the yards that we're not seeing in the NFL is, I think, a lot to do with the way defenses have kind of come out and started playing. I noticed it when I was doing the Browns film breakdown of Deshaun. A lot of too high safety. And that's not just the Cowboys. That is across the league now. We are starting to see this. We have, guys like Kurt Warner talking about it. Fucking Orlovsky's talking about it. So it's becoming a big trend. Like, teams are keeping everything underneath. So Jared Goff throws 55 times, but only has a 5.6 yard average. Baker throws 19 times, but averages 9.7 yards. So he was efficient, moved the ball downfield when he had to, but didn't put up big yards, didn't have to put up big yards. His defense played great. That's probably what won them this game. This was part of my parlay. The over-under was 51.5. Didn't even get fucking close. I took the under. I had a great parlay until the fucking Colts, which we're going to talk about next. But man, Baker played well, didn't play fantastic, but didn't make key mistakes that we have seen Baker make in the past.
Yeah, I was looking at, and I was just looking through my phone to see if I had saved the picture, but it was NFL scoring, like passing touchdowns year to year, and we have not eclipsed 70 in the first 2 weeks this year. 5 years ago, we were close to 200. Our NFL defenses figuring out these offenses, this high potent passing offense. We see a lot of oscillation or back and forth in the NFL when it comes to offenses where passing becomes a big thing and then running becomes a big thing. Are we starting to hit that dip where the running game matters a lot more?
Fucking
And
hope
and
so.
and these defenses are kind of figuring things out a little bit. The other thing that I was seeing from this is like Ben Johnson looked like his play calling looked flat in the second half. A guy who was very highly touted, like expected to be a head coach last year and turned it down to come back to Detroit. And in these first two games, that play calling has kind of looked flat. Jared Goff doesn't look nearly as mobile or as comfortable in the pocket, even. I mean, he's still throwing for 55 fucking times and only getting 5.6 yards on average. Like the play calling did not seem the same like we've seen from Detroit, even in the first half. But going back to last year, obviously Detroit, one of the best offenses in the league, and I haven't seen that yet from them. And I'm wondering, something seems off.
They need to run the ball more efficiently. They need to run the ball more efficiently with David Montgomery specifically, because when David Montgomery is only getting you 3 yards of carry, it kind of puts you behind the sticks. Now they're not ready to make the transition and just go, "Hey, Jahmyr Gibbs, you're getting the rock all game," even though he's the far more explosive player. So they need to be able to run the ball efficiently, because I think Jared Goff would work really nicely off the play action. Maybe move the pocket a little bit. And get him on the move, get him outside, and let him go to work, because he's shown that he knows what defenses are doing at this point. He knows how they're going to play him. I think that they got to start doing a little bit more of run pass option, like get on the move. You can't have dropbacks 55 times. It's just not going to fucking work.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, Dave Montgomery, I mean, he had a good week one. 17 carries, 91 yards, and a 5.4 yard average. Like they used him in that game. It just wasn't the same in this one. They started leaning a little bit more on Jahmyr Gibbs, who had a good game. But it's something just kind of feels a little bit off with that offense to me. And I can't exactly put my finger on it, other than I did not like the play call and the lack of aggressiveness from that offense in the second half. I mean, when you're going up against a Bucs defense that is down so many secondary players, and they still look pretty damn good, like you're not being aggressive enough at taking advantage of those weaknesses.
That Bucs team, man, they played well. You know what's crazy though? Crazy number from this game. Amon-Ra, 19 targets. Absurd.
Yeah. Making up for the week before.
Yeah.
When he wasn't getting the targets. Also, Sam Laporta is getting shut down. I mean, he was such a big part of their offense last year. The first 2 weeks, like he hasn't been much of a factor. In my gut, I feel like they are missing a true third wide receiver. Like Jameson Williams is something, but they still had more last year with the guys that they had, and Jameson Williams kind of being the odd guy out. I'm not seeing it this year. I think that's kind of what it is that they're lacking a good number 2, 3 option.
All right.
Let's see. All right. Next up, Colts and Packers.
By the way, phone lines are open. So if Torres calls, we will answer. And I'm going to fucking yell at him, because what the fuck, Colts? What the fuck, Colts? They ran the ball 53 times. And you didn't know how to stop it. What the fuck? Malik Willis. Go ahead. Start. Fucking insane.
No, Colts are dead to me.
Yeah.
So is Anthony Richardson. Like, I was a Richardson fan last year. I want to see him do good. Colts are fucking dead to me. You don't go into Lambeau playing a Malik Willis and allow them to run the ball, like you said, 53 fucking times and act like you don't know what's going on. You let Malik Willis have a mediocre but productive day. I mean, 12 of 14. They're not using him as a passer, 122 yards. Like, that is way more efficient than he should be. But he's able to do that because they're just running fucking all over you. They completely controlled the game script. Anthony Richardson needs to realize that this is not round. He's not playing a game of 500. And part of that is the coaching and calling plays, but also the coaches should be like, dude, it's fucking throwing the ball up and praying that shit's going to fucking happen for you. Look, Jonathan Taylor has a good day running the ball. 12 rushes, 103 yards, no tuds. Anthony Richardson, 4 rushes, 37 yards, whatever. You cannot compete against most teams just fucking around at the quarterback position like that.
No.
Like, if the Colts had not had him throw 34 passes and had dedicated more to the run game, they might have won this game. But like the way that Richardson was playing kind of let them fucking not be effective on offense. But then the defense,
3 picks, and then also fumbled it twice or 3 times.
We had 2 fumbles that were both recovered by him.
Okay, but he fumbled twice.
Yes.
And threw 3 picks. So he had at least 5 turnover-worthy plays in this game. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And to the defense, fucking shame on you. Like, come on. 53 fucking rushes for 231 yards from that team.
And it's not like the weather was bad and that was the only thing anybody could, like, you knew that's all they were going to do because Malik Willis wasn't going to beat you with his fucking arm. They lined up and they punched them in the mouth repeatedly and they couldn't do anything to fucking stop it. I have zero faith in this Colts team now. I thought maybe after week 1, close game with the Texans, like, okay, shit, they might be able to compete. This team doesn't know how to win. Like, sure, maybe they'll compete. Games will be close, but they don't know how to fucking win.
They were better with Gardner Minshew last year. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. And Gardner, played a great game.
This was embarrassing for everybody. Everybody involved. Shame on you, Colts. And I don't know that I can pick you for another game here for a while.
You're gonna have to show me something.
Yeah. Jets and Titans.
Fuck.
Will Levis fucks up again.
I would love to see one game where Will Levis only turns it over one time. Because I think for like the last 6, he's turned it over at least twice.
Yeah, he's been don't get me wrong, arm talent for days.
Oh,
he's like more of an unhinged Jay Cutler.
Yeah. Dude, dude, Will Levis is exactly like Jay Cutler. Fuck, that's a great comp.
It's insane. And when you get the cameras on the sideline catching your coach saying, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And then in the interview afterwards with the coach, he's a grown man. Dude, like, they were in this game with the Jets.
Yeah.
Arguably a much better roster.
Yep.
But look, and I'll say this about the Jets. Obviously, I hate Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers still has the arm. He does not have the ability to move in that pocket like he used to.
Correct.
I mean, what do you expect from a fucking 41-year-old? Also, play calling there, not a fan of it. They have one solid receiving option and one running back. Well, that's wrong. They got 2 running backs. They got 2 relevant running backs now. But like, the offense does not look special. It looks flat for the Jets. Part of what made Aaron Rodgers special was his ability to move around.
Yeah.
Make magical things happen. And that's not happening anymore. And the defense, I'm not so sure about either. I mean, you go down Jermaine Johnson as well. That's going to hurt that defense. I think the defense is nowhere near as good as it was 2 years ago. Despite great play from Sauce Gardner. So this is a gettable team. This Jets team is going to win games, but it's a gettable team.
Yeah, 100%.
And the Titans, they had them. And then they didn't. It was another situation of like the Titans overperforming and Will Levis fucking it away. Yeah. I can't remember what I was watching. One of these recap shows where they're like, they think Will Levis is playing based off of vanity. Like, he comes in with the muscles and stuff like that and showing off the guns and everything because the dude's fucking ripped. And it's like, you could play a much more pedestrian style of play because you're in a position where you could win this game. And instead he's like, nah, fuck it. I'm going to make a fucking cool play happen because I'm Will fucking Levis. Mayonnaise in my fucking coffee. I got a Hellman's or fucking whatever commercial now. And he shits the bed.
My ex-girlfriend sucking my ding dong all over fucking Instagram or wherever the hell she posted that.
Yeah. Well, I've already made comments about that.
Uh, anyways, yeah, Will Levis fucked this game away again. Like, I don't even need to see him go a game with no turnovers. Just have one turnover. Try that. If you do that, your team probably wins. Maybe 2 weeks in a row if you only have one turnover. He's just making too many stupid fucking decisions.
Yeah. And that's where we're at with this fucking Tennessee team. I don't know who the backup is. I think they need to make a consideration. The way that Callahan's fucking yelling at Levis, I think he's got to be on a short line.
Short leash, yeah.
Like, it wasn't Callahan's guy.
Not his guy, exactly.
So, like, the ability to fucking pull the ripcord on this one, he wasn't a first round pick. Like, they could pull the ripcord on him pretty fucking quick. And you know what? They could probably trade him and get something for him at this point, Miami. So, like, if the Titans are already 0-2, not looking great, if they have a third, like, terrible fucking week here and Will Levis is kind of behind it, like, if you want a guy that can just go fucking sling it and go fucking scorched earth, Miami could fucking do that with some of their receivers, I suppose.
I mean, if he just starts slinging the ball up to Tyreek, that might work.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those high variance type of football guys. Like it's unhinged Jay Cutler, which Jay Cutler's already unhinged. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We're on Will Levis bench watch at this point. All right. Next up, my 49ers. No, my Vikings.
Oh, there we go. I was like, oh, what happened?
My Vikings got the dub.
Yeah.
49ers, 23-17. And it was a fucking kind of fun game to watch.
I have a question because I didn't get to watch a lot of this, like, in the moment. I only saw the recap. Is he actually good, or is this a lot of scheme fit? Because when it's just play, I don't get to see any of the things in between. Mm-hmm. It seems like this is kind of tailor-made to do the things that Sam Darnold can do, rather than him being pigeonholed into doing something that is wanted of him.
So this is the thing. I said week one that, obviously we were going up against the Giants. Giants suck dick, and we can't really trust what the Vikings did week one to say that this is what they're going to be going forward, to include Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold wasn't put in, while he was pressured, he wasn't put in any sort of a high leverage pressure situation. In this game, he was put in high leverage pressure situations, third downs that they needed to make there at the end of the game where they needed to score, and it was 3rd and long. And you have to make this fucking completion in order to go down the field and score a field goal to make this game out of reach for the 49ers. And he fucking did it. He stood in the pocket with pressure coming at him and took the hits and made the completions. He had a classic Sam Darnold bad interception to Fred Warner, and he didn't crumble afterwards. Like, he just did his thing afterwards and kept doing what he was doing. Like, the growth of Sam Darnold is pretty great right now. We would have to really fine-tooth comb the old episodes, but I talked in previous ones about, like, he could be a top 15 quarterback if he reaches his potential. And he's absolutely doing that right now. But as a caveat, as the pessimistic Viking fan that I am, we've seen Sam Darnold play good for 3 weeks before.
Mm-hmm.
We're going into week 3. If he plays good for 3 weeks, I'm going to feel pretty good about him, but I need to see week 4. I keep saying week 4. I need to see a 4th week from him. All right.
He doesn't look like the seeing ghost Sam Darnold, though. No. He looks like he's actually confident standing there.
Yeah. Like, he kind of looks like he thinks that he deserves to be doing what he's doing. Like, he's not even surprised by it necessarily. Not in a cocky way or anything, but like, you see some guys go out there and they're like, holy shit, I just made a fucking NFL play. I just threw a 97-yard touchdown to Justin Jefferson. And on the sideline, he's kind of like, yeah.
Of course I fucking did that.
All right. Like, what's up for the next drive type thing? Like, the offense is playing great. The running game's good. This game, the score is deceptive because we probably should have or could have had another 20 points or so on the board. Blocked punt in the beginning. 49ers were able to hold us to only getting 3 points on that. We had 2 red zone turnovers, one the interception, which could have been at least 3 points, if not more. The Aaron Jones fumble going into the end zone could have been 7 points, turned out to be nothing. And then that point swing went the other way. 49ers got a touchdown off of that and off of they got points off of both the fumble and interception. Either way, big point swings there. This game, we could have won by way more than we did. And it was because we still had some of those little mistakes. But this is the type of team now where previous Vikings teams, those sorts of mistakes we wouldn't be able to recover from. They're still going out there playing very complimentary football. We have a run game now. Ty Chandler looked great, not just Aaron Jones and the defense. Defense is playing fucking outstanding. You know, when you got Purdy going up to Brian Flores after the game and saying, dude, your fucking scheme is insane. And them getting him on camera saying that shit, it's pretty awesome. Like it's fun to hear that about your defensive coordinator. Looking at the defensive stats here for the Vikings team, like they are pressuring a decent amount. They are one of the highest pressure rate teams in the league. They're leading the league in sacks. All 3 of our big major acquisitions in the offseason, Grenard, Blake Cashman, and Andrew Van Ginkel. Van Ginkel's a fucking stud, dude. He almost had another interception at the fucking line of scrimmage again this week. Like, he's playing his balls off. The defense is looking good. The pass defense is last year, you really felt like the pass defense was a liability, and it is the worst part of the defense right now, technically. But, like, they don't feel like a liability. Like, Minnesota's the number 3, I believe, scoring defense right now. And yeah, it's 2 weeks, and one of those weeks was against the Giants. Yeah. So I need to see more. But like the way that they're schematically playing right now feels really good. The only like real weakness to the defense right now feels like runs up the gut. But the linebacker crew is still doing a good job of defending that. So
that's NFL wide, homie. That's NFL wide.
Yeah. I'm very happy with the way that they've been playing. You know, you look at this game before the season starts. I had that Giants game up as a win. And then after that, I could see conceivably 3 losses in a row. 49ers, Texans, Packers. We proved that week 1 wasn't a fluke. We beat a very fucking good 49ers team. We got the ball turned over against them. Like, we can beat the Texans after what I saw this week at home again. And then the Packers, if it's still Malik Willis out there, I don't think Brian Flores is going to fucking stick his thumb up his ass and be like, yeah.
There will be so much fucking pressure.
Yeah.
There will be run blitzes. There won't be a single play where you don't bring pressure, I imagine.
A passing down, at least. I mean, they're going to stack the box appropriately to stop the fucking run. Like, I conceivably can see us walking through these first 4 weeks where I was saying maybe we get the 1 win against the Giants. Now it's like it's definitely on the table that we could be a 4-win team after 4 weeks, which is not something I was expecting as a pessimistic Vikings fan who is still diehard hopeful on things, just trying to be a realist with it. I didn't see it happening, but the way that the team is playing is fucking outstanding right now. Super, super happy with it. Injury-wise, Justin Jefferson sounds like he's going to be okay. Went out that game. And that's the thing is that Justin Jefferson went down in the 3rd quarter. We didn't have receiving options out there. You don't have TJ Hawkinson. You don't have Jordan Addison. You don't have Justin Jefferson. So we have Jalen Naylor,
some Jags,
Brandon Powell, which I love Jalen Naylor. I think he's being slept on too, but like he's obviously going to be slept on when you're the 3rd receiver. You got Addison and Jefferson in front of you. But like it's full strength with his offensive playmakers, super fucking dangerous. Like who do you fucking defend at that point? So when everyone gets healthy around week 7, could be dangerous, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't happy with the way the team's playing.
I don't want to get too crazy too early. Sam Darnold still has a long way to go before anything crazy starts happening, but it will be interesting to see the way this plays out. Say Sam Darnold does play great all year. Next year's conversations are going to be very interesting in Minnesota about what you do at the quarterback spot.
Not at all.
Open competition?
No, because he's on a 1-year contract. Someone's going to sign him for a decent amount of it. And look, this is the thing too, is like Sam Darnold, for as good as he's playing, if he goes to a bad situation again,
yeah. Go back to Carolina. He'll be all right.
Like if they want to give him a bag and Sam doesn't care, take the bag, dude. Fucking run. for Carolina. Who gives a shit? But like, if he goes to the right situation, the right scheme, like I think that he can be that middle of the range average quarterback. But he won't be with the Vikings. I don't think that the Vikings will consider bringing him back. We have JJ McCarthy. That's the future. And we'll let him walk and take a third-round comp pick for what he'll get paid.
Denver. Okay. Anyways, let's move on to the next game. We got, was it Patriots?
And Seahawks.
Patriots and Seahawks, man. So, Patriots, Seahawks, close game. Patriots, I had them. They fucking covered. But they'll lose by 3. And I think this is going to happen a lot, man. The Patriots are better than we thought they were going to be. At least they're better than they thought you thought they were going to be. And what they're going to do is they're going to grind out games. That's what's going to keep them in these fucking games. They ran the ball more than they threw it. They're going to do that basically all year long. They're going to play good defense. They just probably won't score enough points to win a lot of games. I mean, they scored 20 in this game, which is not bad for them. Now, granted, that's in overtime, but listen, this team is going to hang around because they're going to run the ball. They're going to control the clock. They're going to play defense. Patriots, maybe sneaky good cover team this year as we're going through our bets. Probably won't win a lot, but depending on the spread, they could make you some money. And I talked about it on the Sunday show. They've actually been good against the spread since 2021.
Yeah, that's they're a gritty team, grittier than we expected for sure. I still don't think they're super talented, but what they have to be good at, they're doing all right with. Kind of like that Chargers team. They're not super talented, but what they're good with and what their bread and butter is supposed to be, they're going to be good with. This Seattle team should feel very lucky that they were able to win this game. Obviously, it was late field goal that gets them the win, but like 0 run game, basically. When you get 46 rushing yards and 38 of them are from Zach Charbonnet, you weren't even really trying to get him to run, really, or establish a run game. You switch to the passing game, which obviously you have big ass days from DK Metcalf and JSN, and Charbonnet had a good receiving day as well, but like it's not balanced on offense. So if you're not a high flying passing team, you got to have a little bit more balance than that to try to control the game script a little bit. Flip side, New England, great running attack that day. Antonio Gibson, a little resurgence there. 11 rushes for 96 yards.
Yeah.
Him, along with Ramondre. So, look, like you said, New England's going to be a scrappy team. They're going to be, they kind of feel a little bit to me like this year's version of the Cardinals last year.
Mm-hmm.
A bad team that's going to be scrappy and stick in it.
I agree, man. I absolutely agree. I think that this Patriots team will stick around a lot of games. I have not looked at the line this week for them. But I would imagine it's probably going to be relatively close. I got to look at, let's see, let's pull up the FanDuel
right
here.
Trying to find the game.
I didn't have it up because there's no gambling today. I mean, we're going to have a little bit. We're going to talk Thursday night's game, but
yeah.
Oh, Patriots is Thursday. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, I'll save that. That's easy. I already know what I'm doing. Easy. See who they're fucking playing, dog?
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
To not pick the same thing. Yeah. So move on to our next game here. Giants Commanders. Big old NFC East competition. Commanders get the win 21-18. 0 touchdowns by the Commanders.
Listen, Jaden Daniels took care of the ball. That's what he needed to do. He needs to find a way to get them in the end zone, yes. But he took care of the ball, didn't turn anything over. Once he gets more comfortable, that will happen. Daniel Jones played one of the better games that Daniel Jones has played in seems like 2 years. But it wasn't good enough. And I mean, if he had another option, maybe Daniel Jones would have looked a little bit better. We talked about 19 targets for Amon-Ra. Malik Neighbors had fucking 18 targets. But they only threw the ball like 27 fucking times. So basically every time they dropped back to throw, they knew it was going to Malik Neighbors. This team doesn't have weapons. Daniel Jones played decent, not well. It was an ugly game, field goal game. Jaden Daniels gets it done because he didn't make a rookie mistake in this game. And that was good enough for them to win.
Yeah, it was just another one of those embarrassing games for the Giants, really.
Yeah.
Not a lot else that I really have to go over with this game. Like Daniel Jones, 6.4-yard average. That's the check down Danny Dimes. Good for him for getting 2 touchdowns. But obviously you need a little more diversity than just Malik Neighbors. Teams are going to start to really focus on you if that's all you're doing.
He's going to get doubled next week.
Yeah. And with how kind of bad Washington's defense was that first game, the fact that they weren't able to take more advantage of that is, I think, telling of where that offense is at.
Yeah.
All righty. Next up.
This one's quick.
Chargers, Panthers. Chargers steamrolled the Panthers 26-3. Real quick on the Chargers. I mean, not that they had a whole lot of resistance, but J.K. Dobbins, great game running the ball. That is the type of team that they are. Quentin Johnson, you think anything of him getting 51 yards and 2 touchdowns?
No, it's the fucking Panthers.
Yeah, me either. And Bryce Young has been benched.
About fucking time. Bryce Young stinks. And his coaching staff and the organization have done him no favors over the last 2 years. He is a physical outlier. He does not have the physical traits to be a quarterback in the NFL, and they absolutely did him a disservice by putting him on a team that had no fucking weapons. I am so thankful for the Carolina Panthers because the Browns only had a very short amount of time where it looked like they had the worst trade in NFL history. Because the worst trade in NFL history is giving up DJ Moore, multiple first-round picks, and going out and acquiring Bryce Young with the number 1 overall pick. They got nothing back but Bryce Young, and he is an absolute bust. It is what it is. It's over. Bryce is going to maybe go try to catch on somewhere else, but I believe he's probably going to go the route of Rosen, bounce around as a practice squad guy for a couple of years. Maybe he'll find a spot to stick. I just don't see it. You don't keep a guy like this who's a physical outlier on your team as a backup quarterback. He doesn't provide a lot. It sucks. But I don't have much else to say, man. Chargers, good job. You did exactly what the fuck you're supposed to do. Carolina's the worst team in football.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see with Andy Dalton out there. Like having a quarterback that can operate something is going to put you in a better spot. I would have to assume, like, we're almost back at square one with this Panthers team now, with Dalton coming in. Where again, I don't know. Like, we know they're going to be bad, but we don't know how bad they're going to be. So,
I promise Adam Thielen will be happier, but
yeah, he needs to get out of that purgatory. I wish there was a way for us to bring him back to the Vikings just to.
You know what? And he has not been bad. He's looked pretty decent over the last couple of years.
No, I mean, he's like last year, he was still okay with them, but I mean, it was a terrible fucking team. This year, he's been okay with them on a terrible fucking team. Like, he's still a solid receiver at his age. He just was looking for too much money for Minnesota to keep him there. But I mean, I guess if you're going to go to Carolina, take the fucking money, get it.
Yeah, if you're going there, you have to take the money.
Yep.
As much of it as you can.
All righty. Next up, your Browns get a dub versus the Jags. Kind of nasty game there at the end, weather-wise, 18-13. I'm sure that you have some thoughts here on Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, Deshaun played a better game. Did Deshaun play a Deshaun Watson game of old? Absolutely not. That guy's not coming back. But what Deshaun did do was play average NFL quarterback. And that's good enough for this team to win. It's good enough for us to win basically any week. We talked about it like throughout the show so far. Offenses are down already. So him throwing for under 200 yards does not concern me necessarily because nobody's really throwing for any yards right now. Two deep safeties are kind of shutting offenses down. But the big thing for Deshaun in this game is that Deshaun actually kept his eyes downfield and found guys. Game one, when I'm screaming at the TV, is because Deshaun just doesn't see the field. Didn't know what the fuck was coming at him. Didn't know how to attack it. Didn't know what to do. This game, he actually stayed in the pocket for the most part and then made throws downfield. We even saw athletic Deshaun come back at certain points. He made a fucking superhero play. So I don't have anything necessarily bad to say about Deshaun's game. Played average quarterback. Listen, he's still well under the projections that I was just asking for, because all I wanted out of Deshaun was 3,500 yards, 25 touchdowns, and to play 17 games. He's under those averages still to hit that, because all you got to do is hit, 205 yards per game for 3,500 yards, and at 1.51 or 1.52 touchdowns a game. He's not putting the ball in the end zone, throwing it. I don't really care how we win, because we won. Defense played great. Fucking God came out of nowhere and decided he was going to bless the Browns for the first time in forever by making it fucking just pour rain when the Jags are going down to try to come back and win the fucking thing. So, yeah, good team win. The run game was involved. The scheme was better. Deshaun played better. And our offensive line played better. So, improvements. So far away from a finished product, though. And it's still not 2020 Deshaun. But I don't know that will ever come back. But it doesn't have to come back for this team to win and win a lot of fucking games. So That's what I got, brother.
I watched a little bit of the game. I wasn't impressed by Deshaun. And this is gonna sound negative. I'm scared that, especially watching the Cleveland Browns Twitter, a lot of people being like, "Oh, y'all talk shit week one, like he's back, he's doing the good things, he's doing the right things." Like it was.
That happens a lot. It happens. This fucking fan base is a massive pendulum swing. Terrible week one, decent in week two, so now he's back. And then if we don't win, now he's not back. Listen, that old Deshaun is probably not coming back. If he does, great. I hope he makes me look like a dick. But the pendulum is going to swing, especially on Twitter. You're newer to Twitter. We're just trying to get you involved in the Twitter game.
Barely dipping my dick in it.
Football Twitter is wild, and Browns Twitter can be fucking toxic. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, "Oh, he's back. He's going to be a top 5 guy." Nothing that we saw on Sunday would suggest that. What we saw was average quarterback play, because the averages for everybody right now are way down.
Like completion percentage, getting 186 yards, stuff like that, and managing the ball. It looked good from him, but I don't even know why I want to call that average quarterback play. It was completely uninspiring to me. Like, I do not think that offense
average for what we have seen this year so far.
I wouldn't even say that. Like,
dude, we have seen so many quarterbacks not break the 200-yard mark at this point. Like, when we have 2 guys have gone over 300. So, like, I understand that that's not normal. We are coming out of the greatest generation of quarterback play that has ever happened. We are on the ass end of that. We cannot expect 250, 275, 300 from all of these guys, because we just left the generation where we had legit, 15 fucking Hall of Famers?
Yeah.
Well, that's an outlier.
Looking real quick just at Pro Football Reference, passing offense-wise, on the year, Cincinnati Bengals are the 16th team. They have 400 passing yards.
Not 200 yards.
Which is 200 yards a game. And so you have half the league that is above that kind of that line. Bears being the worst at only 198 passing yards. Interesting one that we'll talk about that. But like, is it down? Yes, but still, I don't know that this is like, the league is down necessarily. Like, I think the Jags have a decent defense, but it was uninspiring play to me. I don't think it's sustainable to be a playoff team with that sort of quarterback production. Like, your guys' defense was awesome, and defense can keep you in a lot of games, but you need more out of the running game, at least from that. And 125 total team yards was decent, but I'm scared for your guys' offense right now.
We are not going to get good at running the ball anytime soon. Listen, I like Deontay Foreman. I'm really glad that we started to incorporate him into the run game. It needs to happen more because Jerome Ford, as much as he does good in certain things, he also does bad. He needs to be more of a north and south runner instead of so much east and west. But he's great out of the backfield, catching the ball or in the screen game. But that's where the Browns really need to improve, in my opinion. The screen game has been fucking terrible, and Stefanski's supposed to be good at that. There's a lot of holes on this offense for sure. If Nick Chubb comes back healthy, then I think that this offense can be pretty decent. But do I expect that we're going to be able to run the ball anytime soon in a meaningful fashion? I don't know. Probably not. Do I think it will be entirely detrimental if we can't? No, if we play really good defense. But like this week, it won't fucking matter. Playing the Giants. So.
Better hope so.
It's true.
I don't know what the spread is for that one, but.
Fucking a lot, actually. It's like 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5 as of right now.
Yeah.
On an over under of 38.5.
Yeah, that's not a lot of points.
No.
Not a lot of points.
that might be a sneaky one. I would feel really dirty taking the Giants plus 6.5 in that, but we'll talk about that on Sunday, I guess.
We will talk about that on Sunday. Listen, I'm happy with the win. That's all that fucking matters. We win. And we are in second place in the division.
Yeah, and look, the on the flip side, Jaguars, their offense hit some major roadblocks in this one, and the roadblock was your defense. You guys got a good fucking defense, and you figured it out from week one. But also, the Jags' offense did not kind of look like what they did on week one. They took their foot off the throttle second half of
the
week
weather
one, and
played
it was still
a
off the throttle.
factor.
For sure. But like they're a better team than what they put out there, especially like running the ball. Yes, again, 127 rushing yards, but like Etienne was getting stymied in the backfield way more often. It just wasn't clicking completely there. Next up, Raiders and Ravens, a surprise one. Ravens go 0-2 for the first time since 2015. I got asked today by someone. They're like, "Oh, I saw an article saying Harbaugh's getting fired," and I was like, "Yeah, that's not fucking happening." They're not gonna say, "Oh, we fucking lost 2 games and we're gonna take this head coach who has done great things for our team and kept us competitive for so long and get rid of him." I mean, continues all season.
That would be fucking awesome.
There's a question.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, that would make me so fucking happy. Harbaugh's a damn good coach. If they're like, you know what? Not good enough. He's gone. Dude, I'd be fucking ecstatic because he is a thorn in my side and has been for, fucking 15 years now? It feels like it's got to be 15 years he's been in the league coaching.
I mean, yeah, since Flacco.
Fucking close. Yeah. Fucking, yeah, great. I hope Tomlin is gone too. Like, all these good coaches can fuck off out of the AFC North. That shouldn't happen, but if they'd like to entertain that conversation, I guarantee you there will be Pittsburgh, Browns, and Bengals fans that will be all on board for Harbaugh getting fucking fired.
Yeah, I'm sure. Absolutely. But in this Raiders and Ravens game, it's kind of tough to nail down exactly what it is. That Ravens defense does not play good. They
cannot get the stop at the end of the game when it's necessary. They are incredibly talented. Nobody finds a way to come up in the clutch to make a fucking stop.
McDonald being gone might be more of an impact than we really expected with that defense. Not the same sort of grit. Look, the Raiders, it's weird to say this, they didn't beat them on the ground at all. 27 total rushing yards. It was all through the air. Gardner had an efficient day, 7.3 yard average. That's nothing, but he still threw for almost 300 fucking yards.
Yeah.
And Devontae looked good. Brock Bowers definitely looked good. They spread that ball around. And the Ravens defense just did not play good, especially at home, man. It was embarrassing for him. This is another one that I think most people had the Ravens getting the dub here.
Yeah.
It was
We both
embarrassing.
did. We took Ravens minus 8.5.
Yeah, which again, like cited during the show, I hate taking that fucking spreads that much, but the Ravens are just a better team. But
Are they at this point? That's 2 weeks
roster,
in a
yes.
row. Well,
Roster,
yeah,
yes.
okay, sure.
Like,
They're not playing like it right now, man.
no.
Listen, and the Raiders team, this Raiders team, they got a lot of heart. They're going to have a lot of fucking fight in them, man. Gardner Minshew's a dog. Antonio Pierce is a fucking dog. But they've got to figure out how to run the ball. If this team finds a way to stay competitive for a little while, to week 5, 6, they might actually look to add to this roster, and because a running back really makes this offense go. Like they got some moxie. I think that they could maybe sneak it. Nah, they don't have enough juice to sneak in for. It's going to take 11-6 to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know that I see that happening.
I don't think they can
they'll
get to
still be a
11-6.
middling team. They
And
showed that they can get
7,
by with average quarterback play, but they need a little bit more oomph.
they got to run the ball. They have to be able to run the ball.
All right, next game we got the Cardinals and the Rams, and I fell prey to the McVay being able to work magic. It's really tough to work magic when all your players are hurt.
Everybody of fucking consequence for that team who is any goddamn good is hurt.
Well, is Kyron hurt?
Fuck, I might as well be.
He's good, but did not have a good game. Fucking 25 rushing yards, a little bit more through the air, 27. But look, when you're down now, like what, 4 starting offensive linemen, Puka Nacua is already down.
Top 2 wide receivers are now out.
Down now, probably getting IR'd. Like it's really tough to do anything. And then hey, the Cardinals got one over on us. Kyler saying like, "Oh, I don't need to go out there and find fucking MHJ type thing." I think that was a fucking ruse. That was a fucking ruse. Everyone was like, "Oh, it's scary." He's like, "No, of course I'm gonna fucking find him, bitch. He's the fucking number 1 receiver on my team."
Pick.
Yeah, and we saw that in the first quarter. If he had like kept up his first quarter rate of play there, he was gonna score like 80 fucking points. Like, great day for Marvin Harrison Jr. Great day for Kyler Murray. You were right when you said Kyler Murray just looks fast, like he was fucking doing Kyler Murray rookie type.
Crazy. He looks so healthy.
James Conner, fantastic fucking day running the ball. Complimentary football. Good run game and good pass game. 122 rushing yards from Conner. And then when you have Marvin Harrison with a couple game-breaking plays, you're able to have your below average defense beat the shit out of a Rams offense that is just already at their wits.
Yeah, anemic at that point.
We talked about it last year. I need to talk about it again. Unsung hero on this defense for the Cardinals, Dennis Gardeck. He's going to be a breakout style player for the rest of this year. Like, he looks fantastic. He looked great last year. He looks way better this year, man. Like, he's a good guy coming off the fucking edge. 6 tackles, 3 sacks. Like, he looked fantastic. And it's not just because that Rams line was bad. Like, he looked good last year. That guy's going to walk himself and earn himself a really good fucking contract here pretty soon. Yeah, and then you go and fucking put Clayton Tune in and don't even have him throw a fucking pass as the Cardinals because things are going so out of fucking hand. Good game by the Cardinals. They're going to be a solid team, like at least an average team. Yeah, this was a beat up on a beaten team, but they hung it out with the fucking Bills the week before. So I think we're seeing a little bit more of what the Cardinals can be. So good on them. Like, good win for the Cardinals.
And the Rams are in a bad way. I actually got a note in here, Evo. How's that hammy feeling?
Me?
Yeah.
Fine. It's the back that's the problem.
Okay, well, I would say the Rams might fucking call you because they need somebody to play on that fucking team. They're going to be calling dudes off the couch probably all fucking week trying to fill the roster. They're so hurt. Their injury situation is so bad. Rams, I'm fading the Rams probably several weeks, 4 or 5 weeks now. I got to fade the Rams.
Oh, let's look at their upcoming schedule here. We got the 49ers, Bears. Bears defense could do something there. But that unless the Bears figure out their offense, that'll be a low scoring game.
Yeah.
Packers, Raiders, Vikings. That's an easy dub. Yeah.
I mean, you got to kind of fade them right now. They're so fucking hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
We thought they had a chance to actually, be a little competitive. I don't think that there's no way. Not with this level of injuries, especially this early in the year.
Yeah. And the way that line is obviously not blocking, I'm kind of scared for Matt Stafford. We could be seeing Matt Stafford really quick.
I would not be surprised if Mrs. Stafford's like, hey, maybe you just say you're hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, next up, Steelers Broncos. High scoring, electric game. 13-6 win for the Steelers. Russell Wilson didn't get to go have his revenge game. He got to sit on the sidelines and have his revenge game.
He got to watch his fucking double play quarterback for the Broncos.
Yep. And look, again, kind of banging the table for this. There's some teams out there that could use a quarterback, Carolina and Miami. Like if the Steelers are happy with the production that they're getting from Justin Fields, which is mediocre, but Justin Fields is kind of being who we think Justin Fields is. And if you're comfortable with that, then get rid of Russell Wilson, trade him, get some assets for the future, and fucking let Russ go cook in fucking Miami or in Carolina or something like that. The Steelers defense is being predicated on a run game, minimal pass game, and heavy defense. They are very similar to your team right now, which I don't think, again, has a place for a long-term playoff run, but it's going to allow you guys to get wins, especially when you're playing the fucking Broncos. And Bo Nix is exactly who we thought fucking Bo Nix was. It is interceptions, it is checkdowns, and then at the end of the game, when they get desperate, like he gets a little bit more loose and is able to run around a little bit more, but it's not enough at that point. Like there's no clutch gene in that team.
The Steelers' offense will be better with Justin Fields as quarterback because it is run predicated. It needs to be an offense kind of similar to what Baltimore was running in the early Lamar Jackson days. That is a model that will work for the Steelers. You control the clock, run the ball, play some defense. Bo Nix fucking sucks. But we knew that. We said this the entire draft process. He's not very good, and he can't throw it past the sticks.
I think that Bo Nix is they drafted a fully formed baked cake version of an average backup quarterback. You can go out there, you can expect him to run your offense for the entirety of a game if you need to, but he's not the guy that you want to start for an entire season.
Exactly what fucking Russell Wilson was doing.
Sure.
Now they're paying Russell to do it somewhere else, but not do it somewhere else. And this rookie quarterback. It's not Russell's fault. It's Sean Payton's fucking fault. This offense is not, you need a guy who is special to make it look special. I'm sorry, but Bo Nix is not special. Russell Wilson at this point in his career was not special. Drew Brees, basically his entire playing career, though, was fucking special. He understood the concepts, knew how to manipulate, and then was so fucking smart that he could win with substandard arm strength because the way the offense is designed. Bo Nix is not that fucking guy. It's not going to happen. They're going to try to fucking force this square peg into this round hole. They're going to blame Bo Nix, who will have a very probably successful career as a backup somewhere that we never have to worry about him. But he is not a starting quarterback. This offense is not explosive at all. It's the same offense they saw with Russell Wilson. You're going to see it all year with Bo Nix. But now you're paying two guys to do what one could have done. It doesn't make any fucking sense. They completely mismanaged the situation. And I don't feel bad for them at all. Fuck the Broncos.
Sticking with my 4 weeks line here, looking at this Pittsburgh Steelers team, they could absolutely come out 4-0. They play the Chargers next week, another run-heavy team, defensive predicated team. That's a little bit more of a coin flip for me, but then they have the Colts the week after. We're fading the fucking Colts. Fuck those clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could be 4-0.
Yeah.
Out of week 4. And leading that AFC North.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. I mean, I would love to see them drop a game. Baltimore's already dropped to 0-2. And the next game we're going to talk about, I'm not worried about them at all. They stink.
Yeah, so Bengals, Chiefs. Chiefs barely get the win, 26-25, but what do we expect? They don't
fucking cover.
They don't fucking cover.
That's my first note. The Chiefs suck dick at covering the spread.
They play down to whoever they're playing. I mean, Mahomes throws for 151 yards. That's not very Mahomesian. Pacheco has a solid 19 for 90 rushing yard game. He's out.
Banged up.
You know, Samaje Perine and Carson Steele, who's going to be the guy that you want to grab there? Oh, wait, no, they signed Kareem Hunt. You know, going back there to the Chiefs, where he originally looked real good.
Happy for Kareem. Happy for Kareem, by the way.
And for what it's worth, I mean, the Bengals are able to put up points and have themselves a decent little day, but
Burrowhead, that ain't it, no. I don't know. The nickname is so stupid. Listen, they played a decent game, but they lost. They choked it away, and they're going to choke it away all the time because they're the Bengals. They got so big-headed from one Super Bowl appearance, and they really have not replicated that. They want this to be a rivalry. It's not a rivalry. And I'm tired of listening to Bengals fans bitch about the interception that wasn't, because it was very fucking clearly pass interference. I don't give a shit what camera angle you look at. He got there so fucking early, and I know that Rashee Rice can jump up to catch that ball.
This is the one thing I'll say is that if they're allowing a little bit more of a bang bang game, then you don't feel good about that. That was one thing I'll say about my Vikings game, because I was obviously very dedicated to watching that. While there were penalties, the refs were really letting them play all game, and it was a lot more fun to watch because there was nothing egregious that happened, but it was like pass defense and everything. Like, they were allowed to fucking be aggressive, and that was a lot more fun to watch. I want to see more of that in football, and so in that instance, if that sort of officiating had been happening in that Chiefs game, we're talking about a different story here. And the cry about the Chiefs always getting the flag. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has had the most interceptions overturned due to defensive flags than anyone.
Can explain that, and it's not hard to understand how it happens. Patrick Mahomes is really fucking good at playing quarterback. The penalties, does it say what they are? I don't think it does. So every time that Pat has somebody that jumps across the line, he fucking knows that. And guess what Pat Mahomes does? Every time. Slings that bitch deep and into whatever fucking coverage is needed. It doesn't fucking matter because he's taking the shot. Or
I would have to recheck that stat, though.
He throws guys into pass interferences. That is not so. Quarterbacks do this all the time. This is not some conspiracy that the Chiefs just get all the calls. Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the fucking world right now, and he's manipulating the rules to get calls. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, and look, good quarterbacks do that with the DPI thing. I do think that stat was more specific for DPI, though, because obviously you get a free play. Quarterbacks are just going to be willy-nilly with it, and I don't know. Like, those are ones that are tough to count, like, as the refs are being.
Yeah, if I get you offside, dude, I don't care how many dudes are down there. So, I'm putting it up.
Two questions that I have. Jamar Chase, is he just completely falling into the diva trope?
Yeah.
Like,
almost entirely. Like,
your quarterback's trying to prevent you from fucking getting a flag so hard, and you just can't help yourself.
I don't.
And then the comments about the contract stuff, did you see that?
I did not. Oh, the $1. If I want to beat him, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him, but I'll take $1.
Yeah. Like, if I want to beat him, I'll fucking beat the shit out of him. Like, I was like, okay, dude. Like, I thought you guys were boys. That sounds way too aggressive towards like there's gonna be competition between the two of them, but still.
I feel like Jamar feels disrespected. But like, let's be honest, Jamar has not been on Justin's level the last couple of years. Like there's a lot of drama.
1 year he was.
Yeah, 1 year, but it's just 1 year. Like the potential, all of this, it has like shades of OBJ, like just this fucking superstar who is super capable, amazing rookie year, and then it just kind of never repeats. Justin Jefferson has done this year in, year out. He's broken records basically every fucking year he's been in the NFL by setting, the first guy with this many yards and this amount of games. Jamar has not done that. I don't understand why it's like that, because they should be boys. They played together.
Yeah. And the thing that JJ did is we found out last year, it's agnostic of quarterback. He was able to still put up numbers without Kirk on an injured year. And now he's doing it with Sam Darnold. Jamar Chase has Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow's had times where he's been hurt, but still, like, you got Joe Burrow, and that leads to the next question. Did you see, I think it was former James Jones, former wide receiver for the Packers. Did you see his comments?
Maybe, but it depends on what comments, because I did see something with James Jones in it.
He basically came out and said, he's like, no one's fucking wanted to say it. I'll say it. Joe Burrow has not been good for 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. So I did not hear that, but I also agree with him. Joe Burrow right now is in that same vein as Herbert, kind of a little bit overrated, underperforming, and that like right there, man. They're both starting. Because listen, there's a ton of talent. Ton of arm talent. We know that they should win games. We thought for a while that it was fucking the coach's fault in not San Diego, in LA. It maybe Herbert just doesn't have that clutch gene. Burrow can't stay healthy, and then when he does, he has these weird lapses. Like they're not guys that I would put in that category of Mahomes and Josh Allen. Every fucking week, I feel like I know what Josh Allen's going to do, and it's going to be some superhero shit. But he has the potential to screw that up because he's trying to do superhero shit. It seems like Burrow just fucking sometimes doesn't show up. And Pat Mahomes, sometimes he's not going to have great weeks, but Pat Mahomes is trying to do Pat Mahomes level shit. And damn near nobody can do. I think the only guy that can would be a Josh Allen. I don't have them on that same tier as I have a Josh Allen or a Pat Mahomes. I agree. He's kind of played like shit in the last 2 years.
Well, look, we'll really start to see now that Cincinnati's done with their preseason. First 2 weeks are over, so we'll see what Cincinnati kind of is as a team, starting their little 4-week litmus test starting next week. And by God, if they don't have a good 2 weeks here, there's major problems. They have the Commanders and then the Panthers. And then the Ravens, tough one potentially, and then the Giants. So
they should bounce back.
This will be a really telling next couple weeks for this Bengals team. Yeah. If not, Jamar Chase and the rest of that team is really going to implode, and maybe he doesn't actually come back to that team. We'll see.
Yeah, if that team doesn't win, it will absolutely implode. There are too many egos on that team.
Sunday Night Football, Texans and Bears. This one was a lot closer than I expected it to be, but Texans eke out the win 19-13. Bears offense, pretty terrible. I
Bears
will
defense, very good.
This was not my I didn't come up with this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Is Caleb Williams just Trey Lance with painted fingernails?
No, I think he's better than Trey Lance. But what I think he needs to understand is that he's
Their accuracy seems on par.
Yeah,
because his accuracy is kind of dog shit right now.
Yeah, it's not good.
And don't get me wrong, that Bears offensive line is terrible right now. It is the linchpin of that offense not working. They cannot get any sort of a fucking run game going at all. And that's the offensive line. And then Caleb is not able to stay calm under pressure like you kind of hope, but he's also a fucking rookie quarterback. What do you expect?
He's got to learn that he's not the best athlete on the field. He has got to take what is there. Like he's
But
tried several
there were
times.
times
Okay,
that
yes.
things
He got
were there.
sacked. He got sacked 7 times. That's some of that for sure is on the offensive line, but not all of that was on the offensive line. Caleb held the ball for way too long, thinking that he was going to do Caleb Williams shit. But this is not fucking college football anymore. These guys are more athletic than you, and they weigh 300 pounds. Like, you have got to understand, you got to take your lumps and learn. Sometimes you got to take what the defense gives you. There were things that were there, and he didn't take them. He tried to do too much. This is a similar type of thing that we saw, and I made this comparison. Caleb Williams is going to go one of two ways. He's going to be Aaron Rodgers, or he's going to be Zach Wilson, Zach Wilson tries to do too much and then is not able to make it happen. Aaron Rodgers could make it happen. Caleb's got to find his spot, man. He's got to find his realm, because if he tries to play hero ball, he's not there yet. Like, Josh Allen didn't do that shit in his rookie year. And the times that he tried, he looked like a fucking asshole. He threw for under 60%. Like, it's not ready yet. He's got to calm down. Stop taking so many sacks and stop making them your fucking fault.
I saw a lack of accuracy when he did have open opportunities as well. I don't know. I don't want to say that he's seeing ghosts right now, but like, the accuracy still was an issue to me. Pressure agnostic. So it's a concern for me going forward. Maybe he starts to make some sort of a jump where, like, right now he's at early Jordan Love level of accuracy, and maybe he's able to do something better, because we saw some pretty incredible stuff in the preseason. But like right now, it seems like mentally maybe he's rattled or something like that. I don't know.
He saw vanilla coverages all preseason, and now he's starting to see NFL defenses. Yeah. He's not caught up yet.
On flip side, Joe Mixon hip drop tackle should have been called.
Was it?
Didn't have a good game regardless from Joe Mixon necessarily. Didn't have to. Nico Collins was fucking balling.
Wide receiver 1. He is a true number 1 wide receiver. I don't think there's any reason to have that discussion anymore. I believe that Nico Collins has proven above all doubt that he is a wide receiver 1, and he will be the wide receiver 1 on that team, regardless of Diggs being there or not.
Absolutely. I fully agree. And that's why I still fully believe that they got him at a steal for the contract that they got him at. Like I said that when the contract was signed, I was like, I think that they got him at a steal, and that, like, he's proven it. He's the NFL receiving leader right now. Looks fucking damn good. But overall, that offense did not operate as good as they could have. Still relatively low scoring, 19 points. Like I said, the Bears defense, I think, did pretty darn good. But I think they're a gettable team. I'm looking forward to playing Houston next week. It'll be another test to show and prove that my Vikings team is actually as good as they've been playing. So should be a fun one. That takes us to our last game of the week, Falcons and Eagles. Fucking so close again to the money.
Eagles -5.5. They had it. They were at 6. I was like, okay, great. The fucking Falcons offense hasn't done anything. And all they do is get in a hurry up, play a little quick game, and fucking Kirk Cousins just picks them the fuck apart.
They actually put Cousins under center for this one.
Well, I mean,
and it was a run heavy game for both teams, but they finally put Cousins under center instead of shotgun. And what do you know? Cousins starts operating better. And he actually came out and said, I'm not 100% with the ankle, which we all knew. But if you put him back in his bread and butter and what he's supposed to do when wanting him to pass, like, yeah, he's going to fucking do better. And that Eagles defense just completely flopped at the fucking end.
Yeah,
on top of that, you have the Eagles who are ahead and are in a position to either score more points or take time off the clock so that the Falcons cannot have time to run that 2-minute drill. Mm-hmm. And we'll toss off to Saquon off the fingers. Saquon fucked that one up. He probably would have scored on that play. Mm-hmm. But even so, what I don't like is Sirianni kind of calling out fucking Jalen Hurts. In
Jalen Hurts hit him right in the fucking hands.
Exactly. But what did Sirianni say? He said, well, we had a contingency for this play. If a guy is wide open, you can take the shot. Otherwise, they want him to sit down and take the sack. Why
He
even bring
was
that up?
wide open. What? Okay, listen.
Why
You're
even
in a
bring it up?
situation late in the game. They have no timeouts. If you're going to fucking call a pass, you have to expect your quarterback is going to. He made the right decision. He made the right read.
I said,
You
if
don't
Saquon
want him
didn't turn his head, he probably goes in for a
He
touchdown.
walks in. If you don't want the ball to go into the fucking air, you call a run play. That is not on Jalen Hurts. That is on the fucking coaching staff.
Yeah, and so that's why I don't like to comment, because it seems petty. It seems like he just put the onus of that not happening on Jalen when it is a coaching decision. And yes, there was a mistake by Saquon. He should have caught that fucking ball. But at the end of the day,
Jalen Hurts did the right thing.
wrong. Yeah, Jalen didn't do anything wrong there. So, fucking Sirianni, I'm not a fan of him. Shouldn't have fucking made that comment either way. Fuck
and
the Eagles.
Locker room lost
And fuck Bobbert Goblin for his team. He got a lot of my ill will last night.
I'm sure.
Yeah. I have a question concerning the first 2 weeks of football here.
Okay, let's do it.
What quarterback in the league has shown up and been a technician taking apart defenses in these first 2 weeks?
Fucking none. Not one. I can name.
Not even Mahomes.
No. So I don't think you can name a guy. I mean, God, you could reach, but nobody.
Nobody. I don't think that we've seen that stellar quarterback play. That's why I think NFL defenses are figuring shit out.
2 deep safeties, bro. They're making you take shit underneath. That's why the averages are so low that they're playing 2 deep safeties at a higher clip than I think they have in the last 10 years of the stat that I saw earlier. So they're making you take shit underneath. So guys that can win in routes and then get yak are going to become really important. Or we're going to see a revert back to maybe some running the ball, especially running it between the tackles.
This might be a resurgence year of the running back. We'll see. It's early in the season. Things might start to break open, get a little bit more loose. But as of right now, you still normally have those couple quarterbacks that are standouts that are lighting things up. And I don't want to say Derek Carr, because
I mean, technically he is like that, but that's your reach, because has he really lit it up against who he was playing against?
Right. So, but man, that's our week
Hell yeah
review, and now we have to jump to week 3 and Thursday night football.
Yeah, this one's simple though.
Yep. Thursday night football, we have the Patriots and the Jets being played in New Jersey. The line is Jets -6.5, -105 odds, -115 odds to take the points there for the Patriots. Interesting how -115 worse there.
Yeah, of course it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Where are you going, Mike?
Patriots plus the points, man. We talked about it earlier. The Patriots are going to stick around, and the Jets offense, do you think that they're going to put up a fuckload of points?
They could. They could finally have a breakout game.
But the Patriots play good defense, man. I really think this is going to be a slow, shitty, grinded out game. We're going to get into that typical Thursday night football. These slow, boring ass games that nobody wants to fucking watch. Jets and Patriots. This game stinks. Patriots will cover.
All right. And that's where I'm at too. Patriots plus the points here. I fucking hate the spread because this is an easy one. Just take the Jets for a win on your money line. But taking the Patriots plus the points in this one, and we'll call it a day from there.
Yeah. Have to, man. They've covered. That's what they've done. Okay. Yeah. But with that, guys, we're going to get the fuck out of here. I'm Mike. That is Evo. We are going to be back on Sunday morning, 11 o'clock Eastern time. We're going to be taking you through the morning. We're going to pregame every game. We're going to give you our bets. We make sure we do them in order so the early games are done first so you can get those bets in. So we will be with you guys again on Sunday morning. But with that, we're going to get the fuck out of here. We cannot thank you guys enough for tuning in. We loved the new kind of pop that we've had, and thank you guys for joining us. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. And anytime you can give some of it to us, we are forever grateful. If you want to interact with us, you can go to any of our social media platforms. You can see them all down below at Lineman Lounge, the Lineman Lounge Facebook group at Lineman Lounge 2.0. And then call lines are open during shows. And then if you want to, please go ahead, pop on over to the YouTube, like, subscribe, share with your friends. It would mean a great deal to us. We are trying to grow this bigger, working our way to those 1,000 subscribers. But we thank you very much. I cannot wait for Sunday. I'm ready to do some additional gambling. But with that, we're going to get the fuck out of here. Evo, give the people one last word.
Fuck the Colts. And Tua, you only got one brain. I hope the best for you, buddy. But I think it's time to call it.
Agreed. Also, definitely fuck the Colts. But with that, we're getting the fuck out of here. We'll see you Sunday morning. I'm Mike. That's Evo. This is the Lineman Lounge. See ya.